So we got good old WrestleMania 37. Just happened. I thought it was pretty dope. I actually liked it a lot, to be honest with you. It's might be one of the better WrestleManias that I've seen. I really no issues at all with how everything played out for the most part. There are a couple of matches, and it's a lot to go through, but we're gonna go through all of it. The first match was Drew and Bobby. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley for WWE Championship opening the show. Crowd is there. Crowd's getting excited. They're not as loud as I thought they would be, but I'm fine with the volume. I saw a lot of people complaining about the volume. I didn't really care too much about how loud they were. As a matter of fact, I thought it was fine, And it seemed like the crowd was half and half for this one, and there was a lot of action going on. It was basically a fight between the two. It's kind of weird that they kind of built it up as Bobby was worried about facing Drew because Drew beat him the last time they fought each other for the WWE Championship, so he was kind of worried about losing it or whatever. And then just to have the match be they're fighting, but I guess you could say maybe there's still a bit of intimidation there, even though he looked like really aggro, really angry, really like he wanted to beat the crap out of him. You could still argue that he was still worried about losing the matchup. That's why he was fighting so hard, because he really, really did not want to lose. But I mean, you can still do that with the importance of the title. Honestly, would have liked it if they had some vignettes building up to this matchup, where on every episode they just kind of run into each other at random places, or they run into each other backstage, in the bathroom, they run into each other at a restaurant or something. They keep fighting each other, and they just built it up like that. I think that would have been pretty sweet, but then I think they would have had to turn it into a Falls Count Anywhere matchup, which wouldn't have been bad if they did do that, but it still would have been cool. I wouldn't have minded one bit. But regardless, Bobby wins by putting Drew to sleep with the Hurt Lock, which is really, I thought Drew might have got his moment, but I thought Bobby was going to win because Bobby had just won the championship, and I feel like they got this new dominating heel as champion. He's not going to lose that belt for a minute, right? But it's kind of weird that they also have Roman, too, who's like that. But they're a little different, but not really, because MVP interfered to help Bobby win. Now I'm wondering who's going to beat Bobby for the title. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there were any matches that would kind of say, oh, this person's going to face Bobby next for the championship. I think it still could be Drew, right? I don't know. Anyways, it was still good. Moving on. Next match was the tag team turmoil matchup, right? I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to miss some matches. I'm going to forget some matches. But I think it was solid. The tag team turmoil match, I didn't have any problems with that. Actually, in terms of how the match played out, I thought it was cool, and I was gonna be really happy if it went better on the second night. But I wanted Liv and Ruby to win. I thought they were going to win, and they had a good moment where they were going to win because they won back to back against two different teams. I also thought that they had a chance of bringing back the Iconics with Peyton and Billy. I thought what they were gonna do is that Carmella and Billy are teaming together. Oh, just kidding. And then Carmella comes out with Bayley. And they're really good friends, so that would have been cool. And maybe they get to the end, and then Billy comes out with Peyton, and then they team up again. And it's a big WrestleMania moment, but they were supposed to break up, and that could be an issue, going into their future matches. There's one night only they can team up, or they'll lose if they lose, or they won't be teaming up anymore if they lose to Shayna and Nia. They could have done that, but they didn't. Instead, they had Tamina and Natalya win, and Tamina and Natalya winning was okay, as long as Tamina would win the next night, and she did not, right? Her and Natalya winning the next night would have been cool. No, they lose. And it's kind of like, why would you give them the chance, to have this big matchup, have this big moment, just for them to lose? To a team that's been dysfunctional since they teamed up together, right? Versus a united front of a couple people who hadn't won the tag titles before. And sure, Tamina and Natalya being the tag team champions, maybe you expect them to lose at some point, right? They're not as big a draw. But they could lose to another team who has a bit more hype behind them. That was a possibility that could have led to, but no. Okay, they just lose on the next night. We also had Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. I did not care for this match at all. I didn't want this match. I didn't care for it. Didn't want to see it. But it happened, right? We get there, we get the matchup, and I'm like, you know what, dude? Let's just accept it for what it is, right? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah, sure, they them two being together, I don't really care about them facing each other. Actually, I would have preferred if Shane McMahon was to face freaking Goldberg, not to see Shane get destroyed, right? More so to see just to see two dudes who, like, you know, people notoriously don't want to see in a certain position, they just fight each other instead. They're not taking anybody's spot. And Shane can do some crazy stuff. Goldberg can hit his spear and jackhammer. Everybody goes home. But nope. Instead, we get two really cool spots with Shane getting thrown off the top of the cage, and also Braun Strowman ripping through the cage to grab Shane. Totally fine with it. Really dope. Braun winning. I thought he would win, and he did. I thought it was kind of weird to go with the whole stupid angle. I feel like what they should have done is they should have had, maybe they should have had Braun. I don't know. They should have had, I feel like they should have, I feel like there's someone else who could have been in this position. They probably could have used Ricochet, actually. They probably could have had Ricochet feuding with Shane, and Shane's whole thing is that, hey, look, I think you'd be better under my tutelage. And Ricochet's like, all right, get the hell away from me, I don't like you. And then Shane's like, okay, if you lose this match, then you have to be under me. And it basically gives Ricochet a moment to kind of stand out and show that, hey, look, I can be one of the top guys too. I can be somebody, you know what I mean? You guys gotta let me shine or whatever, you know? Him kind of like trying to stand up for himself, trying to stand out again, you know, rise to fame. Nope. Or Ricochet versus Braun Strowman would have been cool too, if you want to give two young guys an opportunity, or two fresher faces an opportunity, right? But nope. Nope. That's fine. I think, wow, what was next? No, not a title match. Not a title match. Nope. Tag team titles, yes. We had the New Day taking on Almas and AJ Styles, and I was excited to see Styles become a Triple Crown champion. I'm pretty sure everybody thought he was going to win this one because, you know, Almas comes in, he's going to go crazy, right? What are they going to do specifically though? What exactly was going to happen? You know, what were they setting up for? That was the question. And you know, really, I actually thought it was kind of interesting to see Almas wrestle like a big guy, versus, like, you know, how Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic, they're pretty big dudes, but they do some, you know, flippy shit, which is fine. I'm not against flippy stuff, but sometimes when you see a big dude, you just want to see a big dude do big dude things, and that's what we got with that's what we got in this one. And Almas comes in, he's dominating, he's keeping it slowed down. And you could argue that maybe Almas was not trying to get the fans to cheer for him. He was trying to get heat, right? But people couldn't help but cheer for him. I mean, come on. It's freaking Almas. It's a big ass dude. Come on, dude. He hit a 2-handed choke slam and he pinned Kofi. And I'm okay with him pinning Kofi because it's Almas, making him look freaking strong. Cool. Whatever. I feel like they could have done more with, like, how they, you know, what do they do when they meet Almas in the rings, WrestleMania, you know. But at the same time, you don't want to ruin his mystique just yet. They're going to probably run into a team at some point who can deal with Almas, and then AJ and Almas will probably lose the titles, you know what I mean? A team that's very cohesive. Not that the New Day isn't cohesive. I just think the New Day and Xavier had a plan to keep AJ Styles away from tagging in Almas. That was their plan. And now they didn't take into account how they're going to deal with Almas, because they were like, we're not going to deal with them. That's the plan. Just keep him out of the ring. Didn't work out that way. It was cool though. I liked it. Hit a freaking phenomenal form over the shoulders of Almas, dude. That was sick. Off the shoulders. That was so dope. Anyways, the next match, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and Morrison. Man, this match was cool. This match was so cool, man. I was worried about seeing a celebrity. I was like, you know what? He's not gonna really, you know, have much to offer. He's gonna do something stupid, right? It's not gonna be that good. It's not gonna be as good as we want it to be. He's probably just gonna like just be absolute trash, right? Like, he's not gonna do much when he gets in there. He's not gonna do anything that's too crazy. He's not gonna take a lot of risks. This man hit a fucking Canadian Destroyer, bro. He hit a crossbody to the outside, dude. He was going in. His punches looked like incredible. His selling was solid. You can tell that he really likes wrestling. He really wanted to be in there to wrestle, right? There's people who will do the training and then they'll decide, you know what, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, you know? And they'll, you know, to do that, like the simple spots and all that. This dude was ready to go. This guy was out there putting in work, and I thought it was awesome, right? And not that he was like an incredible wrestler, the best wrestler I've ever seen. No. They made him look really good. You know, like Ronda, when she came in, she looked like she was a wrestler. Bad Bunny looked like he was in there to have fun. He was in there to, you know, he wanted to do this. You know, he wanted it bad, but he was still getting help from, like, everyone else around him. And that's okay. Nothing's wrong with that. It's just an observation to make that, like, I am acknowledging that he's not like incredible wrestler. It's just like, that match was cool. It was better than what I thought it would be, is basically what I'm trying to get at. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. That was fun to watch. That was probably the best match. Maybe Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge was the better match. I couldn't tell you. Because both matches, in my opinion, were incredible. I'm definitely going to watch both of those matches again. It was awesome, dude. That match was so awesome. But anyways, so freaking Bianca catches Sasha on the outside, rolls through like John Cena, stands back up, puts her in fireman's carry, lifts her up for gorilla press, walks up the steps to the apron, throws her in the ring. She hits 2 450s. The first one got blocked. The second one lands, doesn't win with it. Sasha using their hair the whole matchup, pays for it when Bianca finally uses her hair against her, slaps in the chest or stomach with the whip. They've been building her to her using the 450 and her using her hair. And she saved it for Mania, hit both of them, and then finished with the Psycho Driver, aka the KOD. Dude, this match was so good. If you haven't seen it and you want to watch WrestleMania, right, I highly doubt if you wanted to watch WrestleMania, you probably saw it. If you didn't see it, hey man, this freaking deal on Peacock isn't that bad. By the way, that app, dude, why the hell is there no fucking pause button? Why is there no scrubber? There is one, but why can't I freaking slide it? Why can't I, go back if I wanted to? I was in a watch party and that thing was desynced. I mean, that was kind of annoying. But it was still cool because I could see what I wanted to see, and then I could see the reactions of the dude I wanted to see the reactions of or whatever. It was still fun at the end of the day, It was still just just kind of took me back a little bit. Imagine if I want to watch that with a family member and I'm ahead of them and they're getting spoiled through my freaking phone or whatever. Dude, come on. Obviously, if you want to do that, you could be with the family member, but in these times, maybe you don't want to take that risk. By the way, make sure you get your vaccinations, guys, unless you don't believe in that. You don't have to, but I feel like it's a good idea. Anyways, moving on to night number 2. I don't think I missed any matches. Night number 2 opened with Randy Orton versus The Fiend, and this was kind of lackluster. It felt like they could have done more, and they didn't. And now it feels like it's continuing. I don't want it to continue. I thought this should have been the end of it between these two. But maybe it's not. Maybe Randy's going to move on, right? Maybe he's going to do something else. But The Fiend losing to one RKO just kind of threw me off, right? Now, good to protect the RKO, don't get me wrong. But The Fiend kicks out of literally everything. And now you could argue that, well, him coming out of the Jack in the Box, that was a cool entrance, by the way. Him coming out of the Jack in the Box, that was pretty sick. But with Alexa being there, changing into, I guess now she's Sister Abigail, I guess it's he's kind of weaker now that she's here. Maybe that's what they're going to go for. They're going to explain it, right? I mean, it leaves open-ended. It gives you something to think about going into the next match. So I think that's cool. But my whole thing is, it's just it's WrestleMania, You don't want to be building to the next thing on wrestling. You do, but you don't want to leave much, to the satisfaction or whatever. But it was solid. It wasn't bad. I mean, the Fiend jumped off the Jack in the Box thing. It was cool. Whatever. Let's not get hung up on it too much. I think the next match might have been Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, right? No. I think it was a tag team matchup. I think this was, I mentioned it earlier. I was just kind of disappointed that Tamina gets this moment where she slams Nia Jax. Natalia's, doing her thing. Shayna's out of the ring. Tamina gets her moment to win and finally gets her first, women's championship. Nope, they lose. So now it's who beats Shayna and Nia? Are they gonna break up and then lose titles, or do they just not know what to do? Honestly, they should have lost the belts to Raquel Gonzalez, and they should have lost it to Dakota Kai, and then they could just lose the belts their first defense. That would have been fine, and then just give Raquel, the championship at NXT Takeover. By the way, I like NXT Takeover a lot. Didn't talk about it, but I like that whole show. Ciampa versus Walter was my favorite match from that. Anyways, shifting back. It just left much to be desired. It's if you don't know what to do with the tag team division, first off, they broke up literally almost every tag team is broken up. The only one left is the Riot Squad. That's the only team left when they first started this thing that's still a team. Everybody else broke up. And some of the breakups were cool, like Bayley versus Sasha breaking up, okay, cool. Fire and Desire breaking up, I didn't want to see it happen, but when they did, it was okay, you know what, they actually can go somewhere here, and neither of them really went anywhere. Sonya now is kind of a GM, but not really, and Mandy Rose is in another tag team. The Iconics broke up for no reason. No reason. You can say they want to make Peyton a single star, Bayley a single star. They won't do anything with them, though. They keep putting them in situations where it's oh, they're going to do something. No, they're not. Just kidding. What's the point, dude? What are you doing? moving swiftly on. We also had what else do we have before I get distracted? What else do we have? I guess we can go into Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens now? Sure. These two going at it, it felt like the match never got into the next gear. I like night one more, basically, is what you're hearing. But it felt like they could have done more in this match, right? We haven't seen Sami and Kevin face each other in a minute. They finally get to go at it, and you think they're going to go crazy. Now, Logan Paul getting hit with the stunner, he sold it pretty well. That was good. Kevin hitting the stunner, everybody wanted to see it. That was cool. I think what they could have done is Logan could have interfered to help Sami win, and then Kevin could have hit Logan with the stunner after the matchup, and Sami just kind of leaves him in the ring by himself. That would have been funny, right? He just kind of ditches him. I got my win, ha ha ha. Yes, the conspiracy, whatever, I don't know. No, but he had to lose though, right? For the story. For Sami's story, he had to lose that matchup. And at this point, I think the only match I got wrong was a tag team turmoil match at this point. Everybody else, I was pretty confident who's gonna win and all that. But up until this point, I thought Sami might have won, but he didn't, and that's okay. He had to lose. That's good. That's cool. I think the next match might have been. It might have been Biggie and Apollo. We'll just say that it was. This is cool. The whole premise was cool. Them fighting on the outside was dope, dude. I don't know. Like them having the kendo sticks, the stairs spot was dope. The spear off the apron was dope. While they doing the entrance was cool. The only problem that I had with this match, right? The only problem that I had was the random interference. We knew they were going to do something with Dabba-Kato, or however you say his name. We knew we were going to do something with him. I didn't think they're going to bring him up at WrestleMania out of nowhere, right? But I guess it's fine, because it's, okay, who's this guy? Oh, he's got heat now. Oh, I want to see Apollo lose. I guess it works, right? I guess it still works. I feel like, though, I guess there should have been interference. Because, Biggie can't just straight up lose. And maybe Biggie's going to be the next to go for the world title. Or will it be Cesaro? Cesaro versus Seth was so freaking cool, dude. Man, that shit was dope. That pop-up out of the curb stomp into the uppercut. I don't even think I talked about it. But I thought Cesaro would win that when he did. But I'm talking about it now, I guess. That was sick. That match was one of the best matches. Might have been top 3. Moving back. Riddle and Sheamus fighting each other was cool. I expected it to be a fight, and it pretty much was. There was some, Riddle was doing some flying stuff. And at first it was like, why is he flying around? I feel like he should just fight Sheamus, just to keep that up. Just have them two just beat the crap out of each other. But we already kind of had that matchup. And plus, with Riddle doing a lot of flying spots, it kind of set up the last spot perfectly, where he goes for the backflip, gets hit with a brogue kick mid backflip, busting his lip open. That was sick. Tried to do the white noise off the top rope, and they slipped. That scared me. I thought he was going to drop him on his fucking neck, dude. And when he tried to go back up, it was pretty funny, because Riddle was like, no, we're not going back up there. No, you had your chance. Okay. It's pretty funny, though. All around, I'm still enjoying it. I wasn't like, Only thing I was sighing about was Bayley wanted to be included as a host. And then they brought the freaking Bellas out to attack her. Why? Why was Bayley not on the card? Bayley hasn't had a main event yet, and maybe she'll get one next year. They were booing Hogan, by the way. They were booing Hogan and cheering for Titus. And they kept trying to pipe it out, but they were booing him. They were booing the Bellas too. They were booing when they attacked freaking Bayley. It's like, I feel like they think we like the Bellas way more than we actually do. And don't get me wrong, the Bellas in the Hall of Fame, whatever, dude. I mean, there's a lot of people in the freaking Hall of Fame, right? At this point, so it's fine. I mean, maybe they did contribute, maybe they didn't. You can argue it however you want to argue it. It's whatever. But it's just like, why? It's just like, what they could have, I think they're both pregnant. But I feel like what they could have done, they just could have had something else for Bayley here, honestly, to be honest with you. Maybe she would have ran into Becky backstage. She could show up and attack her. Maybe they could have had Ronda attack Bayley and build to that matchup. That would have been sick. Nope. Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Man. They didn't even try to build this matchup, bro. And you're probably saying, yeah, they did. No, they didn't. No. They had time. And Charlotte got sick. So what do you do when Charlotte gets sick? You only got so much time left. How do you build it up? Make them team up and break up in a tag team match? No. No. You know what you should have did? You know what they should have did? Rhea should have just beat the hell out. They should have had their little discussion. She said, no one's ready for Asuka, right? And Rhea attacks Asuka. Asuka's like trying to fight back. She's doing her thing. Rhea somehow gets the upper hand. Maybe she hits her finisher out of nowhere. And she just batters Asuka in the ring. Asuka gets hurt, taped up ribs. Next week, Asuka gets attacked again, back to the ribs again. Asuka still wants to fight Rhea. And Asuka's trying to survive knowing that, you know, she basically can't win. Everyone knows she's gonna lose, but she gets like a little baby face moment or whatever. Everyone gets like hot and you get behind Asuka and the match has some heat. This match had no heat. Nobody cared about this match. No one in the crowd really cared. There were moments. DDT off the apron, they liked that. Asuka trying to get everybody excited, they were cool with that. Rhea Ripley finally catching with the finisher, they popped for that. You know? But it was just like, they didn't take the time to really build this one up and no one really cared because of that. It's just like, I don't know what the deal is, man. And it's not like creative altogether is bad. I feel like it literally seems like it's just Vince. I mean, just everyone saying it. And I don't want to say, oh, it's just Vince. I don't want to be that guy. But who the fuck else is it? You know what I mean? I mean, everyone who leaves the company says he's, you know, got his hands on everything. So, there you go. But maybe creative does have some bad ideas too, though, you know? Main event, finally. My voice is getting shot. We have Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. Man, this triple threat match was so cool. I was worried about it. I was worried. I was wrong to be worried. Spear off the steps, powerbomb through the announce table off the steps, freaking double headbutt. That was cool. Like, he didn't do headbutt to two people at the same time. He did back-to-back headbutts. That was dope. The Bukkake knee lands, you know, the running knee hits that. We had the spear from Edge. Roman hit his spear. Pretty good. Jey Uso. What was so cool to me in this match is when Roman would throw one of them out of the ring and Jey would hit them with the super kick or just beat them up. That was so cool. Come on. That was just, why does no one else do this, right? And they didn't even kick him from ringside. They would have kicked him from ringside. Everyone would have been mad. I would have been mad. They didn't. It's no qualification. Of course they don't kick him from ringside. Jey Uso gets taken out. He leaves for a bit. And then, you know, it's basically like a triple threat. They're all going back and forth. Double submission on Roman. I thought they were going to fuck his teeth up when they had that piece of the chair stuck in his mouth. And they had like the crossface and the yes lock on him at the same time. Or the label lock at the same time, dude. Man. But Roman didn't tap. They started headbutting each other. That was a cool spot. After that, I think Edge gets the upper hand. He hits Daniel Bryan with the concerto. Now I'm thinking in my head, I thought Daniel Bryan was going to win. When he got the concerto, I was like, okay, he's not winning. Roman's winning. There's no, like, I didn't think Edge was going to hit him with a concerto too. Roman has to stay as the top heel, right? So here comes Jey back in the ring. He attacks Edge. Edge gets to hold the chair. Edge beats him with the chair. And Roman hits him with the spear, just destroys him. Did he hit him with a concerto? I think he did. Yeah, he did. He did hit him with a concerto. And he dragged them on top of each other. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then he pinned both of them. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Overall, I thought Wrestlemania was dope. I like the RVD segment being backstage. Him, Great Khali, and Matt Riddle, that was cool. I feel like what should have happened though, man, imagine if Matt Riddle would have added the freaking 5-star Frost Splash to his arsenal, dude. Kevin Owens hit it though earlier, and it was a really good Frost Splash. It was a really good one. I enjoyed the show. Overall, no problems. There were bits and pieces where it was like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? You could have done this better. You could have done that better. But having the crowd there and everything that happened, I'm happy with that. Why is Lacey Evans always on the fucking screen every time I do these videos, bro? Go away. Okay. Anyways, thanks for watching. And see y'all next time, I guess.